You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Guys, it's Brian Fullerton here in studio, and we are doing another special interview, and we have really good guests on the phone, and that is none other than Matt and Dave from Equipment Defender. What's going on, guys?
What's up? Brian.
How we doing? Yes, absolutely.
Living the dream here in South Florida.
Is it warm? What's the weather like down there? You guys getting the heat yet, or?
Hot as hell, and it hasn't stopped raining for like 3 weeks. So
no kid. Yeah, we're getting some 90 degrees with some like 90 degree humidity, and it's like the sticky stuff, man. Like you walk outside and you instantly like need to take a shower. One of those deals, and gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. But so actually, guys, just if you're listening to this, we really appreciate you guys checking out the podcast. Matt and Dave and I were literally just rolling laughing about 10 seconds ago. I'm like, all right, we got to hit record before we just literally cut up with each other the whole time. And we were just poking fun at Dave because he's a little bit older than me and Matt. And Matt and I are the millennials, right, Matt? And so, but
yeah, and Dave's definitely the boomer.
Yeah, he's the boomer in the room. So
Gen X.
Gen
65.
Well,
December 65.
Well, he's like, well, when are we starting this YouTube video? And me and Matt are like, it's a podcast, Dave. It's a So, but he's like, well, can't we just write this out? I'm like, that's called a blog, Dave. And so anyway, but so sorry, Dave. I feel like you're going to be the punching bag on the podcast. So, but
I have a feeling.
We'll run with it, man. No worries. So, all right. So if you guys are listening in, not to ramble this whole time, but Matt and Dave, they own Equipment Defender. They make the Equipment Defender racks. You guys see them on our enclosed trailer. Tons of you guys have already bought them over the years. This isn't going to be a pitch fest or anything like that. We're not going to be like, yo, get Equipment Defender. It's if you guys want to support these guys, great. If you don't, no big deal. However, they have a really cool story. They have a really good startup story, inception. Matt's been doing this with Dave for a long while. Dave's been how would you describe it, Dave? Like an engineer, but like a tinkerer? Like how do you?
Not really. I mean, I don't have any formal training for engineering, but
okay.
My start was really in trade schools with machine shop and drafting classes, and ended up learning CAD and bringing just. I always had a vision for how to build things, and I was able to harness that.
I love it.
And I worked for another company where that's exactly what I did. I kind of fell into that only because it was comfortable to me. I had a good eye for it. It worked well. And I worked with that company for like 18 years, so a very long time. And it became obvious it was time to move on. I had to move on.
Yep.
Things weren't what they were supposed to be. So
yeah.
So I did that. And fortunately, Matt wanted to come with me because he compliments me in the sense
he doesn't understand the internet.
He does. There you go.
So Matt, so Matt's kind of like front of the house, Dave's back of the house, or a little bit of both, or what? So Matt, what's your role?
It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both these days. So
cool.
I like to envision myself as I want to handle all the customer service, all the business operations. I want to kick all the, angry phone calls over to Dave because I just want to be, happy all the time. Not that we get any of those. So that's basically my role. I'm like, hey, Dave, pick up this phone call.
Yeah. We've all been there. And,
like,
and you guys also run another company with doing like pool products, right? So what would you describe that, or how do you guys describe that business?
So we make another product line. It's called Riptide Pool Vacuums. We started that a little over 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a vacuum system, a portable vacuum system. It's electric powered by a 12-volt battery. That pool service professionals would use day to day. They just take it from pool to pool and help them get through their day faster. Basically, think of it in the landscaping industry as your mower.
Okay.
And that's another product that we designed from the ground up, though. So it's really commercial quality. It's a great product.
Yeah.
It's really the same attributes that we tried to bring to this industry for this product line.
That's so
we
cool.
Tried to bring, and really until we came along with these current designs of racks, everything in this industry for rack systems was really kind of backyard design.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I would say the first time where the value of what you're getting for what you're spending is phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, I also got to listen to shout out to the Pool Chasers podcast. Those guys did an episode with you guys maybe last year even, and it was like an hour and a half long.
In November.
Yeah, it was like an hour and a half long podcast, and I remember like listening to this thing just out of curiosity and just to support those guys. And man, I learned more about pool machines and Riptide and fans and belts and clutches and hoses and all this stuff. I'm like, I don't even know what these guys do, but I tell you what, if you put me on a pool crew right now, I could go rip it. You know what I mean? So I felt I got this whole education from this other podcast. So shout out to those guys. Well, let's do this. I want to hear on this podcast, guys, if you want to stick with us, we're going to talk about the inception of Equipment Defender, because I want to know how you guys came on the scene and came on everybody's radar. We're going to talk about how we actually linked up with YouTube. Matt reached out to us a few years ago, and actually my first response was no. I actually said no to the affiliate deal and the partnership, and Matt was like a jealous girlfriend that said, like, what do you mean no? And so
very angry,
but it's all good fun. It's like a funny story, so we'll break that down for you guys, and then we'll talk about GIE and new products that Dave's been working on behind the scenes, and so it's just going to be a really fun, quick episode. It probably won't be this hour long story necessarily, but because it is racks, there's only so much to talk about. But I'll tell you what, these guys do have a really cool manufacturing and business startup story, and that was really more I wanted to extract that out of these guys. So let's do this. Let's take a quick break. I'm going to get a sip of my water here. Let's hear from one of our show sponsors, which is one of my companies, which is Lawntrepreneur Academy, and then we'll get right back into it.
Have you ever thought about starting your own lawn and landscaping business, but not sure where to start? Look no further than LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com, an e-training website dedicated to helping you start and grow a successful lawn care business. Save more time and make way more money by learning exactly what it takes to grow your business to the next level. Invest in your future by first investing in yourself. Use promo code PODCAST to save 10% on all training programs today at LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com. Now, back to the show.
All right, cool deal. Well, hey, just wanted to say a big shout out and thank you guys that are supporting the Lawntrepreneur Academy with all of our training programs and getting access to that commercial contract. And by the way, a little birdie in your guys' ear, we got 2 more training programs coming in the next 2 weeks, which is going to be super, super exciting. Hey, also wanted to just say a quick thank you to all of you guys that have been leaving reviews. We have so many of you guys, Brandon Addison, he just said great content. I've learned so much. Another guy, S. Sula, probably the most spot on podcast for entrepreneurs. Thank God my phone knows how to spell that word. So all you guys that have been leaving these ratings and reviews, they go a long way, and we really appreciate that. Also, just because I got to show some love to my boy Paul Jameson with the Green Industry Podcast. Paul has broke the top 100 with the Green Industry Podcast. I think he's even cracking the top 50. So shout out to my boy Paul Jameson. You guys know Paul with the Green Industry Podcast. He is crushing it and just ripping it from the frame, dropping like 3 to 5 podcasts a week. Okay, he didn't ask me to like give him a shout out or anything like that, but I listen to Paul's episodes all through the week because, guys, I'm on my mower just like you guys are, 6-7 hours a day cutting grass, and so I know I put out 3 episodes a week, but hey, there's 40 hours on that lawnmower. So if you guys want to check out more content, check out Paul. Check out Britt Dow with the the Lawn Care Leaders Podcast, and even Julio with Lawn Care Business Success. So, all right, let's get back into it. So, Matt or Dave, I don't know which one of you guys want to take it away with the inception of Equipment Defender, because it's still actually a newer company. You guys have only been around for, what is it, Matt, like 3 years now?
Yeah, right around 3 years.
Yeah. So how did you guys get
3 years? 3 fun years.
Okay. How did you guys get the actual business started? Because you guys had been in the industry, lawn and landscape and the green industry for a little while before. So why don't you guys maybe share how that whole story came to be with the startup of Equipment Defender?
I'll kick it over to Dave.
All right. Basically, I was in the industry for about 18 years prior to Equipment Defender.
Okay.
And I was doing exactly the same thing I do now with Equipment Defender. I was designing products. I was kind of overseeing the company. But like with many people in life, it came the time where I had to move on because things weren't as they were supposed to be. Mm-hmm. So I did that. But when I left, fortunately, Matt wanted to come with me because he wasn't satisfied where he was either. And he is...
I needed a dad.
But he was, and it ended up being perfect because I know nothing about the internet and dealing with all those things, and it's so important in today's world to have to be able to manage that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Without it, it would be a low, slow grind to get anywhere in any new business, right? I mean, I think we all have accepted that, and so that's what we did. We left to do our own thing. We decided when we did go to do our own thing that we were going to take the whole product line to a new level. Fortunately, I had some patents on the original product designs, and nobody could stop me from using those. And I just decided to take it further and to do an even better job. And as we went through the startup phase, and Matt reached out to people like you, and that was a great direction from the start, because it was a good way to kickstart things and get noticed quickly, and all things that would have been very difficult without people like you.
Very cool. Very cool. And so how did you guys decide on the name Equipment Defender? Did you guys have a couple other ideas or inceptions? Because this all seemed like it came together pretty quick.
Probably like 20 Yinglings.
Okay.
You know, Jack Daniels. Kicking it back and forth. I don't know. You know, when you're trying to create a name, you never remember the ones that you didn't pick.
Right.
I don't ever remember the ones you don't pick. You only remember the one that you picked. So I think that means that you picked a good name. Like, there's not one that, like, there's no regrets. Like, we should have been, this or that. And I don't know. I'm really happy that we went with Equipment Defender. I think it's a good name. It's easy to remember. It rolls off the tongue. Everybody can spell it. So it's not like entrepreneur where I'm like, oh God, how can I spell it?
That's true. It's true.
And my only concern was that it's a little long, right? It is a little long, but it's so direct and so to the point that it works.
Well, try Launchpreneur Academy. Like that. I don't even know how to spell it. Like
that's one thing that Matt was adamant with, was that it has to be easy to spell, and at least you can remember it because it does apply.
Well, when you type out entrepreneur, it's like ERPREN, and I have like,
here you can take care of it.
Yeah, I have like, well, and then you type in Launchpreneur and it's like Lawnpreneur, and it doesn't even know what it's doing, and then add Academy to it. So people, DM me, Matt, on Instagram. They're like, hey, what's your training website? And I type it out. I get 31 characters in, and I mess up one letter, and I got to retype the whole damn thing. And some of y'all know what I'm talking about. So some of you guys know what I'm talking about.
That's exactly the process.
Yeah.
See, we probably would have had to pass on Launchpreneur just because of the difficulty.
Oh, there.
Dude! If I can't spell it, then I can't expect other people to spell it.
Well, it's funny too, because back when I was trying to think of like a name for my company, like Launchpreneur Academy, I was like Stanley Dirt Monkey, like the Dirt Monkey University, right? And I'm like, well, I want to train people, so is it like a school? Is it an academy? Is it a university? I went through 100 names, and they all sucked. And then
Launchpreneur is actually very cool. It's just that it's difficult.
Yes. Well, we're trying. We're working on it, Dave. We can't be as cool as you. Okay, Boomer. You know what I'm saying? Like, go easy on me.
Yeah, yeah.
My whole generation.
I don't know why he's like digging into you. Like, I feel like he's targeting you.
Well, he just doesn't understand that we have autocorrect. That's a feature on your phone, Dave.
Yeah.
So
he doesn't even know how to use his phone.
He's got his Verizon flip phone from his Razr, Matt. So. But by the way, guys,
Nokia brick.
He's got his Nokia. Yeah. Well, he actually knows what it's like when those things came out. So, Dave, we'll keep it easy on you, man. So, by the way, guys, if you're listening in, we have a lot of relationship here, a lot of history. Okay, so I can cut up with these two. They can take it. So, okay, so you start this company, and what does that like logistically look like? I'm always selfishly curious. Like, okay, so what did you guys have to do in this like 6-month window? Like, did you have to go lease an office? Like, how do you put in orders? Like, how do you get product manufactured?
It's a scary process when you first start off. You don't even know if you have all this product, if you're even going to be able to sell it, if anybody's going to, if you're going to be able to market it, if you're spending a lot of money. I mean, you have to find an office, which we did. We found a great office that we've been fortunate enough to expand recently in the past year and basically double our warehousing capacity. And we didn't have to move because moving is horrible.
Yep.
But even, where we are, there's a huge problem where there's a shortage of commercial real estate. So finding the perfect building, we didn't know at the beginning if we were going to find the building. But we've been fortunate in that respect. As far as getting product, manufactured, when you're first starting out, it's like you have no clue. Am I going to sell 10 trimmer racks? Am I going to sell 100 trimmer racks? Am I going to sell 10,000 trimmer racks? You have no idea.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how quickly you're going to be able to get out in front of customers. And luckily, working with you, working with some other YouTubers, we've been able to speed that process along. I think that if we tried to do this 15 years ago, we wouldn't have been able to, because the channel did not exist back then.
Right. What was the dominating thought? Like were you guys every day like, yo, it's crunch time, it's almost April or March, right? For like the next year. Maybe this was 2017, something like that. So what was that dominating thought? Did you guys have this like hop skip where you had this like bridge of time, and then you got to get an office, a website, and racks, and then a distribution arm? What was the go mode? How did that feel like?
Well, luckily, by the time we had launched Equipment Defender, we had already been with our other company, Riptide Pool Vacuums. We had been up and running and off the ground with that. So we had a good, day-to-day operation as far as, shipping orders, stocking customers, It was a good flow there.
But that was, we also started that up at almost the same time. I mean, we had racks under production while that was getting started, while Riptide was getting started.
Okay.
So that was a even bigger financial burden. However, you either have to generate a certain amount of cash flow or you're dead.
Yep.
Before you even have a chance to start.
Yep.
So that reality is always present in your brain, and you have all of the things that you thought you had perfect that start to show themselves as not perfect, and you have to fix those things.
Okay.
You have to get to the bottom of it. You have to spend every penny you can possibly come up with for a long time, really. We're doing very well now, but that's mainly because we listened to every single complaint that we ever had. If it was legitimate, we identified it, we dove into it, we fixed it at any cost, and the market has responded in both the Riptide as well as the Equipment Defender.
Wow, that's awesome.
And problems that occur that would just blow your mind, things that you were sure you would never have a problem with, but they get you. They sneak up on you and they get you, from design to just manufacturing flaws to powder coating. Coating, when you're coating on a volume basis, it becomes a difficult animal. It's difficult to control. We got to the bottom of it this past year because
it's been a little over a year, I think.
Yeah, a little over a year now, because we actually invested in a whole new powder coat line, new blast equipment, new wash stations. Invested tons of money in that. And interestingly enough, the first batch we ever ran, we blew it big time. We used this brand new wash station. We went literally from hand washing everything to this fancy equipment, and with ovens for cooking off the water and chemical after you wash it. And we blew it. We didn't rinse it properly, and it ended up causing the whole batch to fail on powder coat.
Is that what does that look like?
And we put the product out there before we realized it, but it started actually in the boxes. It was actually bubbling the powder coat off.
Wow.
So once we identified that, we had to scrap everything that we had already done. Obviously, warranty everything for anybody that had it. But it was a disaster, and it's expensive, and it's just a terrible place to be. But you have to accept it as your responsibility to fix these things and get it done no matter what.
And now all of our
go
ahead with the E-code.
Yeah, so we actually what we learned from all that, and this is actually the good part of it. So here we were already trying to improve our process and our quality of coatings, which is a very essential thing. These things are made out of steel. You got to do everything possible to keep them from rusting and lasting a reasonable time out in the field.
Sure.
Obviously, everything's going to get old and crusty, but you got to do your best.
Yep.
So with that problem, what we did is we started to implement e-coating, which is a process where we go through the wash station, the blast process, and then it goes through the e-coat process, which is a vat of liquid. It goes into this vat. It gets hit with electricity while it's completely submerged. And nothing will stick to it whatsoever until it gets hit with electricity, and then it gets pulled up out of that vat, goes through a baking process, and then only after all that's done, we powder coat it. So that means every single nook and cranny is totally coated. It's a very expensive process, but it's not as expensive as throwing away brand new inventory and warrantying everything for everybody.
Well, sure.
It's the same process they do on car frames that they started doing on car frames to keep the frames from rusting out. So like on our trimmer racks with the e-coating, when you're powder coating, you can't, no matter how hard you spray, you're never going to get inside of the tubing.
Yeah.
Because you can't coat that inside of the tubing.
In every single nook and cranny of weld and everything.
With the e-coating, since it's submerged, it actually coats the inside of the tubing.
Wow.
So you're not having bare steel on the inside. And to my knowledge, I can't confirm it, but I'm pretty positive we're the only rack company that does that process. This is an expensive process.
Yeah.
It definitely has added a lot of cost.
And with this all,
we wanted them,
well, this all means that like you're talking quality, right? So like the racks are going to last longer, like practical standpoint for guys on my end of the equation.
Yeah, it's a practical standpoint. The coating is going to last longer. It's not going to rust. It's going to stay looking good longer. And you know how it is. I tell our customers when you pull up to a client's house and you got a trailer and it has all these racks on it, you look professional, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look better than the other guy, and that goes a long way, I think, in this industry.
Oh yeah.
And our main intention, we want to see the racks last as long as a person keeps their trailer. Obviously, there's at the end of it, the trailer's worn out. The racks are probably going to be beat up and worn out too. But we would like to see everything last that long anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if I can get 5 to 7 years out of something, like I'm happy, because even my $10,000 SureTrack trailer, we're budgeted to have it for like 5 years. Like, and you know what?
Yep.
I'm sure it's still going to be looking nice because I'm in my 3rd year, I think, with it, and it still runs good, looks good. But my friend Mike Bedell, he's been through I think 2, if not he's on his 3rd in like 12 or 15 years, and things just they wear out, they get old, and you can sell them for a third of what you got them for, and that's okay, and just keep reinvesting. But yeah, if I can get 4 or 5 years out of my racks, or it's just a regular cost. It's just another expense, and but if I got to replace them every year, then I'm not going to be super happy about that. But you guys,
oh yeah, I wouldn't.
What's
I wouldn't either.
Well, the funny thing is, yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say my original ones I have that you guys sent out for my trailer build out, they're still the same ones and they still last. Like everything, I haven't even seen any of the improvements or the upgrades. I'm sure they're amazing, but like I do have the new V2 blower racks, but my 4-position trimmer rack that you sent out, Matt, it's still the same one. Like nothing's broken off on it, nothing's rusting out on it. Now it is
but that's an enclosed trailer, so that's a lot more kind environment than for these guys with open trailers. So we need this stuff to hold up for the open trailers too.
Fair enough.
Really, it's the pool industry that helped us with that, because we build a pretty sophisticated cart frame for these pull machines to pull them around.
Okay.
And the environment, I mean, the one interesting thing about the pool industry is these guys have this piece of equipment in their hands all day, every day. It's the only main piece of equipment that these guys use.
Okay.
So, I mean, this thing is literally in their hands, getting slammed into the into the car and into we build a transport rack that it goes into a 2-inch receiver, and it just holds the machine behind the vehicle while they're transporting.
Sure.
But it's always in motion. It's getting pulled across the rocks and the stepping stones, and it's getting hammered, and it's beat up, and it's so originally that frame was just, the powder coat was just falling off these things. It was terrible looking.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really our exposure to the e-coating process. We got real serious about solving it. And it does more than protect against rust. It actually makes the powder coat adhere to the metal so much better. It's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
It actually, in the testing process we did, we couldn't even blast the powder coat back off of the metal sometimes.
Wow.
It would take so long that the metal was destroyed from distortion before we ever got it off.
Wow, that's crazy. So do you guys do all this in-house, or is the manufacturer now doing this that you invested in them? Like, how does that all work? I don't understand manufacturing like on that level. So how does that all work, Dave?
We manufacture everything offshore, and I actually go over and oversee production. Well, before coronavirus, I did.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But but we have to do everything in-house in one location. And because it would be such cost burden to take components and then try to redo something elsewhere. Okay. Everything has to be done, boxed, ready to go, ready to ship. because you have to control the input costs, right, to make this stuff affordable for people.
Gotcha.
And so our main take on this has never been to save dollars on quality. It's to save dollars through the process.
Okay.
Make it as efficient as possible throughout the process and put as much as possible into the manufacturing and the quality and the design as possible.
That's what, like, you know, it's really cool that, like, for me as an end user, like, I get the trailer rack, it's in like the kit, you know, and I got to put it together a little bit. It takes about an hour and a half. Once you get the first one done, then you're like, oh, duh, like, this is so easy. But the first one, it's like, you know, assembling like some 1,000-piece Lego set, you know, Matt. And so, but when you do the first one, you're like, what was I thinking? Like, I felt like a moron, like a monkey with a wrench, you know. And then I made my second.
Yeah, it is.
It's just
you're right.
The first blower rack, I think it took me 45 minutes because there's no video, right? Like you guys sent one to me.
Yeah.
I put it together. We made a YouTube video on it. And so here's the funny thing too.
I don't even think you had instructions when you got yours, though.
No,
I remember right.
Maybe. I mean, if I did, dude, it didn't even.
I don't think you did. Yeah.
Well, here's the funny.
We'll give you credit. You didn't have instructions. You gotta hype yourself up.
Yeah.
You didn't have instructions.
I'm a figured out guy. I'm like, somehow this thing is supposed to have this thing fit in that thing. I'm like, well, we'll figure this out. Well, so here's what people don't always get to see. And this is funny how it works, like twofold. Like, so I get sent something a lot of times, whether it's an Equipment Defender rack or an Echo brand new blower. And dude, these things come in a box and out of a warehouse. And like, at best they have instructions, but usually I just get sent stuff and it's like assembly required. And I have no idea because, you know, usually when you go buy your weed whip or your blower or your mower, you know, from your dealer preps it. Your dealer puts it together. And so there's many times where like the version 2 blower rack that got sent to me, because there was no YouTube video. Maybe there was instructions, probably not. And so it took me like 45 minutes to put it together. But here's the deal. What people don't realize is that it actually took about 3 hours because I have to film it and like make this tutorial video almost as well for like my fans and followers. And so to like put the rack together your first time, it's going to take a half hour, but then I have to like change the camera, change the position, ad lib, make sure it's interesting. I got to keep people's attention. So I'm moving on the camera and all this crap. And then, you know, like I install something and then I realize I did it backwards or I put something in the wrong spot. And now, so like that 20 minutes of me shooting footage is garbage. Then like the editing is garbage. So like people have no idea. They're like, man, like making YouTube videos and like you're just an actor and like da-da-da. I'm like, bro, like this video that you guys watched for 9 minutes took 4 hours to shoot, to edit. I mean, like it's not even fair. But here's the funny thing. And then people, you know, Matt, I did that 4-position trimmer rack install video back. It's probably 3 years old now, and I still get a comment on it probably every 3 or 4 days because people are still watching it because they order from you guys, and they're like, well, how do I put this thing together? Well, you Google or YouTube, you go on the internet, Dave, and you type in how to install trimmer rack, and like my video comes up in the top 5, and it's like a 12-minute tutorial video how to put it together, and it's just so cool that people can like benefit that way. But when I did my install, this is back when like rocks were soft, you know, it took like 3 hours. And so number one, I appreciate you guys supporting the affiliate link, but then number 2, hopefully the video helps you guys with whether it's installing an Equipment Defender rack or, you know, how to put on a chute deflector or, you know, assemble something like a trailer hitch or, you know, all these different things. Like, dude, I don't know, man, like, you know, how to install a light bulb on a 2009 Jetta, you know, all those like old school type videos. Like, I think Jesus, those kind of videos exist, you know.
They existed, right? That's a great thing. Like, you know, stuff I've fixed or put together, like just by YouTubing it. It's an unbelievable, unbelievable thing. It's a great time to be alive.
Just for the record, I have to.
Yeah.
After Dave has 2, but I have to find the YouTube video and then I have to send him the link.
Oh my god!
And then I have to print out pictures with a transcript.
Well, like my furnace, dude. Even though we have an apartment, like it breaks down and a red light is blinking 3 times, and I Google like the brand and you know I don't know, Bryant furnace blinking 3 red lights, and it's like, oh, the moisture tube is like full, so I drain it. I'm like, oh, that's an easy fix. I saved everybody a headache. Took me 12 seconds to figure this out, but man, I don't know. If you guys are listening to this, you're probably nodding your head. You've you've all probably Googled something how to replace it too, So, okay. So a question for you. So you got the company forming, you got the Riptide thing forming. So then Matt, you were probably trying to figure out how to get customers, or maybe you guys can both weigh in. So was the idea to go through like traditional distribution, like sell in stores, go through distributors, that was never
in the cards.
Just right to the internet.
We always wanted to deal direct. We like dealing with our customers. It makes everything easier. The warranty is easier if there's ever a problem. If you need something, maybe you're missing a bolt or a screw or something, you just have to email or preferably or call or Instagram message at 2:00 in the morning on a Friday night. That works too.
Right.
But yeah, we try really hard to make everything right with our customers, and that would be a lot harder if we were going through distribution. One, your margins are less, so
okay.
It becomes harder to do that when you have problems.
It becomes harder to maintain a good price to the customer, the consumer, if you do too much through distribution.
Sure.
And it's just cleaner. I just like working with my customers. I like talking to you guys on the phone and dealing with you and helping you guys get your trailers set up. And it's just I really enjoy it.
Well, let's do this. I want to break that down more because I want to know how you approached a couple different YouTubers, how you guys got on the scene, because that velocity, that ramp up phase, it was pretty quick. Like it went from just one brand out there, and they had the lion's share, to now there's competition, and competition. To me, as a business owner, is great because the consumer typically wins big because they have options, and now there's quality. Yeah, exact quality improves, prices improves, and so that's a super good thing. So I want to break down that. You guys got about a few minutes where we can go down to that rabbit hole.
Oh yeah, got all the time in the world.
Love it. Well, let me do this. Let me hear from our Launchpreneur Academy sponsors, just so people can know that if you guys are enjoying this conversation and you guys want to, continue going down the rabbit hole with learning how to run a lawn and landscape company, we've got our LaunchpreneurAcademy.com training website where you guys can get a bunch more resources to check that out. It's not a pitch, guys, for real. If you want to learn how to install mulch or do spring and fall cleanups, we're going to be turning the corner before you know it and start thinking about snow removal. So we have a snow program that is phenomenal, one of my best ones. And by the way, like I said, by the time this podcast comes out, keep checking back on the website regularly because we have 2 more training programs that are going to be super helpful about how to get customers and even how to equip you guys with some postcards. So that's all coming, so stay tuned. But let's do this. Let's hear from Launchpreneur Academy, and then we'll get right back into it, Matt.
Enjoying today's show? Motivated to take your lawn care and landscaping business to the next level? Learn what it takes to grow your lawn and landscaping business today with training and education from the Launchpreneur Academy. Get educated with how-tos on mulch installation, plowing snow, aeration and overseeding, and so much more. These training programs are designed to help you save time and make more money with your business. Invest in your future by first investing in yourself. Use promo code PODCAST to save 10% on all courses today at LaunchpreneurAcademy.com. Now, back to the show.
All right, cool deal. So, Matt, take it away, brother. You were saying when you guys wanted to start ramping up sales, you didn't want to do traditional distribution. So the internet, Dave, came along, and well, it's been here for a few years. Al Gore invented that.
It's a series of tubes, Dave. Matt invented the internet. He told me to do this.
Well, I mean, Al Gore invented it back in like the 80s. You know what I'm saying, Dave? So it's been around for a little while. I'm just kidding. Al Gore didn't invent the internet. He invented global warming. But anyway, so go ahead. Oh man, if people only knew how I think sometimes. All right, so Matt, take it away. What was your thought process on reaching out to like influencer marketing? I despise like those kind of terms, but anyway, that's what people consider these YouTubers. So what does that look like for you guys?
There's a great Instagram, by the way. It's called Influencers in the Wild.
Oh, I love it, dude. I love it. Oh my God,
it cracks me up.
That's my new favorite Instagram page for sure.
Yeah. So I have a kind of a marketing background, self-taught, never went to school for anything. Been using the internet since I was like 5 years old, so living in the matrix basically.
Right.
I like to put it. So we started Equipment Defender. We got some product now. We've got great. I want to We got pictures taken of it. I built the website myself. So I knew, okay, now we got a website. We're going to put it up online, but how are people going to find us, right? How is everybody going to find us so they can buy our product?
Sure.
At least look at it and know it's available. So I how do I find product that I want to buy? If I'm looking to purchase something, it could be anything. It could be, a TV or computer or laptop or, anything. I go on YouTube, right? And I search.
Yep.
Well, I had already known about, affiliate marketing from all of that. I'm like, all these people are affiliates and, they like a product. They want to share that with their base. So, it's fair for everybody. Everybody wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I knew I wanted to build that same type of program with Equipment Defender. So I started, researching all the different landscaping YouTube channels and reaching out to them. I had a pretty big spreadsheet built at the time. And I would just list everybody, I'd find their email addresses. Some guys had their email addresses on their YouTube page. Some I'd have to Google their company and find their company information. Like, okay, hope you don't think I'm a weirdo.
Mm-hmm.
Emailed, I think it was a lot of people to start with. I emailed them all, didn't expect to hear back from them. And then I started hearing back from everybody. And, I already had this whole affiliate program worked out, how we were going to do it. And, the moment I hit the launch button on our website, I was like, Dave, how long do you think it's going to take to get our first order in? Because basically, and what did I say? It was like, how many hours do you think it's going to take? And it was like,
I don't remember, but it was
pretty quick. I was like, I don't remember who did the first video. It might have been Jason Ambrose.
Mm-hmm.
I think it only took 3 or 4 hours. I was pretty surprised. It was faster than I thought.
That's so cool. That is really cool. I remember selling my first training program on my training website because I'm like, is anybody going to buy this stuff? I as you put in, you guys know, 100 hours into it, and I remember doing my productivity and profitability hacks training module, which is the most underrated program I have. It's $49. It's ridiculous. And I put 10 hours of thought into this thing, and I launched it, and I sent out an email blast to 2,500 people, and nobody bought it. And I literally was so depressed and manic. I literally was like, I'm a loser. And then the next day, 37 people bought it or something like that. And I mean, the feedback was instant because it's an hour-long program. So I know I can very much
the highs and lows of being an entrepreneur. You're like,
oh my God,
buying my stuff, and then everybody buys it, and then you're hyped, and then you're like, okay, what can we go to next?
Well, it's scary, right? You're putting yourself out there. You're putting out your heart and soul to
100%.
be judged, to be ridiculed, to be praised, whatever it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right? People's brains work differently. Some want to ridicule everything. Others want to be supportive and good people about everything. And and you see it all, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you see everything, Brian.
Yeah. So as you guys, and that's kind of interesting too, where you had reached out to Jason Ambrose. Shout out to Jason. He's a really good bud. And actually, you guys have reached out to me, or Matt, you had reached out to me. And quite honestly, I had, Matt, how many subscribers did I have? Cause you said you remember, I don't remember where we linked up.
So you had right around 3,500. And by the way, congratulations. I know you just went over 100,000. That's awesome.
Thanks, dude. For sure. That's crazy.
They send you a play button, right? Don't you get a play button in the mail now?
We do. I'm actually kind of dorky, nervous, excited too. Cause dude, I've never stuck with something this long at this level. And, it is a pretty big, cool milestone, but I don't know. I've heard some people say it takes 3 to 6 months to even show up, and I don't know. YouTube didn't send me any emails yet. I thought I'd log into YouTube and my screen would blow up when you hit congrats on an iPhone. Nothing happened. Nobody cares. Nothing happened. I mean, we did a video on YouTube and a lot of people said hey, congrats, which is so cool, super thankful, and a bunch of people shot DMs and text messages. But I thought YouTube would even congratulate you, and they don't even care. They're like, whatever, we'll send you something in the mail in 6 months. And I'm like, hey, thanks. Actually, funny story, because I know you guys are stat and number driven guys too. Last I heard, it was almost that it's a little less than 100 people a day have a channel that crosses over 100,000 subscribers. And so people are like, well, YouTube's saturated, or YouTube is like not as big as it once was, and you know, blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, YouTube is like just getting started. People, and I literally really do believe that and mean that. And I'm not just talking like lawn care YouTube. I'm talking like YouTube hasn't even started. Yeah, like I mean, there used to be like 10 people with 1 million subs, and now there's like probably somebody literally every day for real that crosses 1 million subs, and so it's crazy. But yeah, I'm very, very thankful, very, very excited. Big win for us. But we got started way back, dude. I think I was in my 2nd year of doing YouTube, and I still didn't even know what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing, but anyway.
Nobody does, so don't feel bad.
Yeah, right. So we linked up. You said we had like 3,500 or something.
Yeah, you have like 3,500 subscribers, and I emailed you, and then you emailed me back like, "Oh yeah, thanks, no." And I'm like, "Really?" Like, I was pissed. I was just like, "Who's this guy think he is?" Like telling me no. Like I felt like a jealous like schoolgirl or something that just like got turned down for the prom.
What did I even say? I don't even know.
I don't know, but I should dig that email out and send it to you because I felt like you were being a little snooty, maybe. Maybe I just felt that way because I was being a jealous schoolgirl.
Well, so here's one thing that we were talking before we hit record was my attitude was I had just bought that SureTrack trailer, my enclosed trailer, and I didn't know this, but it's an option. Was the racks that came with it? They're like Gridiron or something like that. Good brand, good people, whatever. They I think they actually. The guy who owns Nove Corp owns Gridiron, and like the money he made, I think, is the story from Gridiron, his racks. He started SureTrack, so like his trailer company, and so funny little story there. But these racks didn't lock, and so I do owe a big shout out to Jason Ambro because Jason was in a group chat with me, and I said, yeah, I turned that affiliate down because. And by the way, it's way different now than it was, 3 or 4 years ago, like lawn care YouTube. Because, you get like an email and I'm like, no. Now we get, people have no idea. Like people think that like they call me a sellout. And I'm like, if you really knew how many opportunities get presented to us to like sell product or promote. I can make one video for $5,000 from many companies. And I say, no. Cause I'm like Warren Buffett, like 99 opportunities come to you. I say no, or 100 opportunities come to you. I say no 99% of the time because I'm trying to stay focused and keep it pure and just really care about our fans and the people all you guys that are listening. And so my attitude was I had these new Gridiron racks and Jason Ambro goes, yeah, but these new Equipment Defender ones, their claim to fame is they lock. And I went, oh, like no shoot. Because I thought racks were racks. Like I didn't know. I didn't even know like the world existed before I did YouTube. It's so weird how kind of like sheltered my thinking was. So I think I emailed you. I emailed you back and I said, yeah, dude, let's link something up. And I think you sent me out like a whole rack setup. Was it for my utility trailer back then, or did I already have the enclosed trailer? I guess I had the enclosed trailer back then.
I think it was before you got the enclosed trailer, but I'm not 100% certain. I know you had the original truck. Before you get the new one,
yeah. I don't know which.
I
think I had my.
I don't know what trailer you had.
I had the old SureTrack, and I think I had just converted it into like a little makeshift dump trailer for me because I put plywood sides around it. I think that's where it was. Well, and the funny thing was, I had said yes. You sent all these things over, and I remember like putting them all together, making those little tutorial videos back in my mom's driveway in the trailer park, and this is like taking it way back. But I'm really glad we linked up because I had no idea how many people would do business with you guys. Like how many people were looking for good racks and ones that were black that would like work with a generic trailer setup and color scheme, And
yeah,
so maybe let me know, Matt, from like your guys' launching, your first year, your second year, what was the reception like? What was it like? Hit the ground running? Like the first order came in and then it was just boom, 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 and you're like, dude, we got a viable business here. Or what was the next 12 months looking like for you guys?
Yeah, it was definitely, we hit the ground running. Orders started coming in. Then the emails start coming in, and the phone calls start coming in, and for more orders, we had to hire, a warehouse guy. Now we got a few people working in the warehouse, shipping out orders and getting product prepared. but that's a good problem to have, right? It's not a bad problem, when you're expanding like that. But we've been expanding every year. It's been good. It's been a fun ride.
Well,
there's honestly nothing else in the world I'd rather do. So
well, you were joking about that when people always ask, like, what do you do? Like when you go to a wedding, people are like, well, so what do you do? And you're like, I actually sell trailer rack. Tell people what you say, because you were laughing back in Miami about that.
It's like you never know what to say, because it's like, oh well, I sell pool vacuums, or I sell racks for trailers, and it's like, people are like, what? You make money doing that? I go, yeah, I guess. It's like, you never know what to say. So sometimes I just won't even say it, because I'm like, oh, I'll just say something real big, like, oh, I'm in e-commerce, and they're like, what? and nobody ever knows. Sometimes I'll say, oh, I'm a knee doctor or something. I'll make something up, because I don't like. I can sit here and explain this for 20 minutes, and they'll be like, what the hell is this guy talking about?
Right. And you can say, like, I'm like the number 2 guy at a manufacturing company in South Florida, and they go, well, how many people work at the company? And you say, well, 2, like one of those deals, like I swear to God, I met a guy once like that, and he gave me his business card, and I said, what do you do there? He goes, well, I'm the number 2 guy. So I stole this one from another guy. He goes, I'm the number 2 guy at this company down the road. I go, wow. I go, dude, that's like, I'm thinking he's like the CEO or COO or vice president,
like Ford.
Yeah, for real, dude. For real. And I'm like, well, I'll go, wow, that's incredible. I was like 20. I'm like, that's incredible, man. So how many people at the company? And he goes, 2. I literally was like, here's my business card. Like, give me my business card back, because we were just networking. And so if you guys are ever like, if you guys ever have like this self-image hit, because you're like at this like little lawn care business, because that's what I did my first 10 years. Like, I was doopy doo, but I'm always like, oh, I'm the CEO of a lawn landscape company, and like, wow. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I only did like 13 lawns this week, but don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to make millions, like, so
those big lawns.
Yeah. Like, so Rob, my employee, Rob, you guys have seen him in the videos. I always joke with Rob, if people ask him what he does, he's the executive vice president of BLM landscaping. And people are like, well, what? Like, how'd you get that role at 19? Well, he just operates the trimmer all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's my number 2 guy. So anytime he asks me, he jumps out of the truck, he's like, hey, do we need to like edge this one, or like, what do we do? I go, I don't know, man. What would a vice president do? And he's like, yeah, I'll grab the edger, So I'm like, I don't know, dude. You're vice president. You got to make decisions, dude. You're as into this company as I am. So anyway. Hey, and by the way, what one funny story that I was thinking about while you were talking about when we linked up, Matt, was so we all had affiliate codes, right? And this is just a funny one that you were like, yeah, like Jason Ambro, because Jason Ambro and I were in a group chat. I think there's a couple other guys back in the day, and I think like we could monitor our affiliate sales like with a website. So we were like, oh, like I made a sale today, and the other guy was like, I made a sale today, because it's kind of like, it was like cool, because this wasn't even a thing. Affiliates weren't even like, in fact, Echo was the first brand that I had worked with to like promote product. Like, I didn't get paid a dime. People think I get paid like to like promote. I don't. Like, I really don't. I do with Xmark to promote and advocate for them, but I don't get paid a dime from anybody, like, unless they're an affiliate. And so you guys were the first ones that came on board to offer like an affiliate deal. And by the way, for all of you guys listening in, like, the affiliates are huge for supporting the whole hustle, because without the affiliates, like, dude, you can make money with YouTube, but like, I make way more money with all of the affiliates combined than I would my YouTube check. And you can make good money with YouTube if you're like David Dobrik and Logan Paul and these family vlog channels that get 50, 100 million views a month. But when you get 400,000, you get 100,000 views or 400,000 views, yeah, you'll make $400 or $500 with YouTube, which is cool. Like, it is really cool. Like, it's definitely supplemental. But what people don't realize is that, like, even if you have like a million views a month, you only make like a couple grand. And no offense, like, I know it sounds like a lot of money because you're like, oh my God, but when you run a business, a $1,000 or $2,000 a month does not go very far, even running a YouTube channel. And I'm just being candid right now because a lot of people always wonder like how this works. But like, the studio I'm sitting in, it's $6,000. I literally an hour and a half ago, I was at Best Buy at 10:05 a.m. when they open to send out one of my cameras because the microphone port broke and it's out of warranty, and it's probably going to be, $200 to $400. The week before, my microphone broke, which was like $300. So I had to buy a new microphone. Boom, $600. And so when you guys watch the YouTube videos, and this is what I thought too, because I just consume, and it was free. But to produce, I mean, even like little rinky-dink lawn care YouTube videos, it takes a lot of time and effort, and there's a lot of cost. So
it takes a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, I get claustrophobic talking about it because I'm like, dude, it costs so much time and money, and I'm so thankful for you guys that reciprocate. And you're like, well, you only make like $4 or $5 or $12 with like an affiliate. I'm like, yeah, I know, but dude, that goes right back into buying a microphone, because my YouTube check, it's getting bigger now, but my first 3 or 4 years, dude, we made nothing. I mean, $200 a month, and trust me, that didn't cover the bills. And so when you guys,
so you're losing money when you calculate the time that you could have spent, doing something else,
dude, 1,000%.
Or it was a total, money killer at the beginning. You have to work your way up just like anything else in life.
Yeah, well, and so when people are like, "Oh, you're selling out," or you're I'm like, dude, like sincerely, I'm putting 1,000 hours in for pennies back. Like we're making $1 an hour doing this. Now, the idea with a business is that it, eventually the fulcrum, right? The scales tip, and one day I'll be getting paid more for doing a lot less. But that's business ownership. That takes 4, 5, 7, 10 years. Like, and so what kept it going? Well, for me, so a lot of words just to say to you guys listening in, because I'm always like curious, how does this stuff work? Well, Matt, when you approached me 3 years ago, we started making some affiliate sales, and I literally took that money and I dropped it on a brand new camera that had like a better autofocus. My first camera was a T6i, and it would just grab the background because it only had like 7 or 8 autofocusing points. And I know this sounds nerdy, but the newer cameras had like 42, and it would like track your face better. Well, my first like 100 videos, if you ever watch, like the camera like grabs my face, grabs the background, grabs my face, grabs the back, because it doesn't know what to focus on, because it wasn't as high tech, right? And I like literally like remember like getting, I don't know if it was like $500 affiliate check from you guys after like a couple months or something like that. And I literally like walked over to Best Buy. I took a photo. It was an old Instagram post probably 2 years ago. And I bought this.
I think I remember it.
Do you remember? Like I was holding this box, and bro, I swear to God, like it was my first like maybe $1,000 affiliate payout. And it was, we added it all up for a couple months. And it was so cool. Like it was so, like it sounds like an eon ago doing YouTube, but like, man, that changed my attitude. I was like, oh my God, like I got a cool camera. Like I didn't say like I'm a YouTuber or I'm an influencer. I was just like, dude, I can make so much better content for the fans and the followers and the people, and like pour my heart out through this camera now.
Yeah.
And dude, I wouldn't have been able to do that just waiting on a YouTube view AdSense check. Like if you guys don't know, like YouTube lawn care, like you're not getting hundreds of millions of views. You know what I'm saying? I doubt that you ever really will. And so I just
we go through the same kind of thing. With technology and using it to improve everything you do is amazing. We just implemented robotic welding probably a year and a half ago. It's amazing what it does, Brian.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing what it does. Because when you go from welds that look like backyard that anybody could do a sloppy weld like that to perfect welds every single time, because it's not getting tired or worn out, and it's amazing. And that's the same way, with that same excitement to us every time we get a new piece of equipment.
Yeah, and it's like investing in a new camera, or investing in a robotic welder, or investing in a new mower, a new Exmark mower or Skag mower or whatever. Like you're just reinvesting back into your company for future growth. Now you have a bigger mower, you can mow more lawns, or you have a robotic welder and you can weld racks faster and to a higher quality.
Yeah.
Or you have a camera now. Now your channel grows more and opens up more opportunities for you. Well, and more opportunities for everybody else too. Now that you're in front of those people too.
Well, 100%. And I said this actually at our live event when I was bringing you on stage. I said if people can kind of see like the little 3 pointed arrows in a circle, like the rinse, reuse, recycle thing or whatever. Like you guys watch the videos, you guys support the brands pay me an affiliate. I make videos because I got a little bit more time and money to invest and to do that. I make a video that helps you guys make more money. And like, it's like this cool thing, and that's with Equipment Defender and Cujo shoes or IsoTunes. Like, so like literally supporting, I know this sounds like we're kind of beating a dead horse here, but it's just, it is really cool because this wasn't a thing 4 years ago on lawn care YouTube. Like Steel would send out a trimmer. They would, you know, the YouTuber would get a free trimmer, and the fan would get some, you know, some exposure on like this new FS94R.
You know what? You know what?
Sustainable.
The craziest, and I can actually like quantify this in a way, and Dave can attest to it. Is that, you know, me and Dave have been going to GIE for how long?
Oh God, with the other company, I went there for 18 years.
18 years.
1 or 2 years.
Yeah, so you know, 18 years. I've been to so many GIEs that I can't even remember before I ever, you know, met you, Brian.
Yeah.
Now, you know, you never saw. Now when like you're walking around GIEs, like you can't walk like 10 feet without somebody coming up to you and saying, "Hi, you know, thank you for what you do." And it's not just you; it's all the YouTubers, and it's just cool to see that.
Totally.
Because that, you know, 5-6 years ago, that wasn't the case. You know, you could have just walked around with your head down and not got stopped everywhere. So you really are building this community that everybody's benefiting from. Everybody learns something.
Yeah.
Everybody, you know, maybe I'm sure you've got hundreds of people that have started a landscaping business just because they happen to, you know, start on your channel. And that's awesome, right? Isn't that like a good feeling at the end of the day? Like now this person is like
100%
like, became an entrepreneur and is running their own business because of the video that you posted on the internet. It's crazy.
Yeah, I still, like, we still don't really wrap our head around it, but I try to always stay grounded because, yeah, every day we get a couple messages that say on Instagram or an email, like, dude, change my business, change my life. And if you guys ever feel that way, like, dude, please send that in. Like, I eat that up because it keeps me moving, it keeps me growing, keeps me motivated and continue to be passionate because, dude, I'll be honest, I cut grass all day just like you guys, man. I get done at 4 or 5 o'clock and like, I'm not done. Like that's when like my second job, my second business, my media company, I'm like, all right, dude, we got to like film some videos. We got to edit some stuff. And trust me, man, like when it's 90 degrees and 90% humidity and you guys all know you get home and you're tired, like you just want a cold Gatorade and just take a 45-minute cat nap, you know? And I do the same thing, but not every day. Like sometimes I'm like, all right, I got to edit for 2 hours. I mean, dude, I'm like falling asleep, drooling on myself, like, you know, like trying to get this video out by like 6 or 7 p.m. And so I am overly excitedly like passionate about this stuff because, you know, it always goes full circle. And I've talked about this on my other podcast. Like, I know it's like my first 10 years to just not really make a lot of money and kind of just have this like, you know, I grew up in a double wide trailer. Like I remember like not having anything and we're making a couple bucks now with our lawn and landscape company. And then out of nowhere, like the YouTube channel thing started making a few bucks. But I really just want to pour that out. People are like, well, you know, Matt, people are like, well, why don't you have the Tesla Model X yet? I'm like, I'm working on it. But I said, I just dropped $6,000 on a studio. I could have easily just took $6,000 and dropped it on a down payment on a Model X. But I'm like, if I drop $6,000 on the studio, I can not only create more content to help people, but eventually maybe make more money later, 2, 3, 4 years from now. And that's always, I hope you guys understand, like I'm always trying to do what I preach to you guys, which is like, you know, I get this question a lot, Matt, what's the number one thing I can do as a new business owner? I'm like, reinvest. Yep. Reinvest. And you guys did the same thing. I mean, for years, I know you guys did because we're talking down in Miami. Liz and I went on a cruise, and you guys were just a minute down the road. And Matt, you actually swung over. I think Dave, you had some personal family obligations, and so Matt, you actually picked me up in a brand new dream truck of yours, which is one of my dream trucks. I don't know if you want to get into it, but it's why don't you let everybody know what you got? Because you guys reinvested for 3.5 years, dude, and now you're starting to have a little bit of fruit. And by the way, you're allowed to talk about success on my channel, guys. Like I like when people win, and I love getting to support and encourage other people. And Matt, like you bought your dream truck after 3.5 years of just sleepless nights. What did you just buy? Let everybody know. Come on.
I did buy my dream truck, and it's a Ford Raptor, and I love it. I love every time I get in that truck, it does make me happy.
Yeah.
And it makes all the hard work, all the stress that you went through, it makes it all worth it. Like, life is short.
Yeah.
So you should feel good about it.
Yeah, you're not making the money just to put it in the bank and feel like you have numbers in the bank.
Yeah,
you want to surround yourself with some nice things that you feel like you earned and worked for. And
yeah,
that's what we do.
That's a big win. And I asked Matt, I go, hey dude, because this is what I do. I'm so like tacky. I'm like, Matt, how much was it? And you're like, well, that's kind of a bold question. I go, did you pay cash? Did you pay cash? Did you pay? I just get into people. I'm crazy. I get into people's face. And he goes, no. He goes, we're making money, but we're not like making that kind of money. He goes, I put some down and I finance the rest. I go, okay. You know, because I'm always like, I'm trying to justify my purchase of my Model X. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey, Matt got his Raptor. Why can't I get mine? And Liz is like, she just literally leaves the chat. She's like, I'm not even talking to you. If you want to go buy your freaking car, go for it. You know. And so.
It's going to be Liz's car anyways. We already know she's going to drive it more than you.
100%.
We did buy a new forklift. We did buy a new forklift and pay cash, though.
Yeah.
we had started off with a little used forklift, and it died.
Oh, no.
And, we were pricing like used forklifts to new forklifts, and it was like, it wasn't that much more to get something that has a warranty and everything on it.
Right.
I can't work on a forklift. I know nothing about them.
We're a little ridiculous about this stuff. So we go out and drive that forklift around. We feel like it was so cool.
Yeah. So when you guys are
listening, nobody can see us because
but it's like, and that's the thing that everybody should look at when they're buying something. Like if you're buying a used mower and the price of a newer mower isn't that much more. Like, do you really want to take the risk on the used mower? You don't know what it's been.
That's actually an important thing to talk about too. You probably have already, but
yeah,
people get stuck into thinking they can only afford used sometimes. And I'll tell you, I tell people all the time, people that don't have a lot of resources, they can't afford used very often because it's so expensive if something goes wrong.
It's true.
We had somebody call just last week about the Riptide vacuum, and they wanted to buy somebody's used Riptide for $1,100. We're like, don't touch that thing.
Right.
If you have to put a new motor and new cord on it, you're going to be at the price of a brand new one anyway.
Right.
And it turns out it did need a new cord, which means it probably needed a new motor, which means,
yeah. And then in the case with our forklifts, like, used forklifts that I could find were, astronomical in price compared to when we first got ours. And our first one lasted about 3 years.
Sure.
But, when they came out to repair that used one, it was going to be like $10,000 to fix it.
Wow.
So who's to say when you buy the used forklift that it's not going to be $10,000 on top of what you paid for the used one? And at that point, you're pretty much at a brand new one.
Sure.
And I have a hunch that the one that we bought used was actually had serious problems when we got it. We were just lucky that we don't work it so hard.
Right. Well,
and the same thing comes with the motors too. It's like you have no idea what somebody did to it. I mean, they're going to drop the thing into a lake. You have no idea.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing too. Like, I love listening to you guys win. Like, I want to see other people win. You guys that are, listening to this. I mean, if you're, I know it sounds kind of dorky, but like, and kind of kumbaya, but like, your trimmers are on your rack, like safe, secure, stored. Like, you lose a blower to theft, man. That's $600, and that sucks.
Oh yeah.
And every single lawn care guy has been there. Like, I mean, I've lost stuff. I've had stuff fly off my trailer, which is a whole nother story. And that's a $300-400 hit. And so you're like, do I want to drop $200 on this rack or $110 on this rack? No, but the alternative is it getting lost or stolen, or really, for me, it wasn't really as much the lost or stolen. It was the getting it smashed up and damaged. Like, it didn't look very nice. It didn't look very professional. I always had to go get stuff repaired because, the mower would smash into the blower and pin it on the or the utility trailer. Matt, the trailer would. I'd brake hard. The mower would rock forward even though it was strapped down. Smash the blower, pin it, and then the handle would crack. And I'm like, damn, there goes drop it off to the dealer, $112 for a repair on a $500 blower. And I'm like, if I would have just literally bought a rack, not only would have been locked up, safe, and secure. I don't got to haul it into my shed every night.
You wouldn't have that downtime either on the equipment.
Downtime, chasing repairs.
Well, it's
what always surprises me though is when you see a person that takes pride and they do a great job setting their trailer up with racks.
Yeah,
it looks so darn professional. It looks so good. It's amazing. Really, every time I see it well done, I just go, wow, that looks great.
No, it really does. It's and by the way, going to the whole buying you your nice thing. Like, Matt, I remember when you picked me up in your truck, you were so excited, and I was like, dude, this is so cool. And it was what's the blue? Do you know what the blue paint job is called? I don't know. It's like a blue flake. It's you got the blue
Ford Performance Blue.
Dude, it's like that the Ford GT Blue, like that blue flake. It's like the gray accents. It's a badass truck. Like I'm like, I sat in it with Liz, and she's like, "This is a nice truck." So once all those YouTube millions kick in, right, guys? We'll I'll.
So you're gonna have the Tesla. I'm gonna feel this. I'm gonna feel the same way when I get in your Tesla when I come up to the Entrepreneur Academy.
Hey,
live event.
If I get it by this fall, I will 100% bring it to the live event, and everybody can sit in it, mess around with it. I don't like it's just a win.
I've never been in a Tesla. The Tesla does the whole self-driving thing, and my truck does like the adaptive cruise control. That's crazy. That's scary to me. So I don't know how you're gonna cope with the autopilot because. Well, it's just the adaptive cruise control is scary.
Well, the only thing crazier than the fact that the car can drive itself is that Dave actually saw the first car roll off the assembly line. You know what I mean, Dave? So like, it's crazy. Isn't that crazy, Dave? Like that you saw.
He's seen the whole run.
I know. Like he's seen
the first Model T.
The Model T, and then he saw them like get seat belts. You know what I mean, Dave? In like 1974, and then he remembered
like airbags. Like I don't need an airbag.
He remembers the gas shortage when it was like 25 cents a gallon, and Dave was losing his marbles, right, Dave? And I'm just.
You remember the gas shortage, but I was a little kid.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, and by the way, one thing I was going to joke with was the affiliate thing. It was kind of funny because this is 3 years ago. I think we were like affiliates with you, Matt and Dave, for I don't know, like maybe 6 months, and like you were adding up my affiliate sales because I don't even track it. Like a lot of you guys, you would think that you would like keep up on this stuff. I really don't. Like it's almost like it's all on autopilot, and some people send checks, like whether it's weekly or monthly or yearly. I don't overly care because like we don't live on it, so like it all just goes into another bank account. Because it's just like my fun side hustle. Like everything I own and we buy, and we make, and it's all from the lawn landscape company. Like we really do run, a solid $150,000 to $200,000 a year lawn landscape company. Like we make a couple bucks. I'm happy with it, and so all this affiliate stuff, like I don't really try to. I don't like get lost in the pennies in the sense. But I remember, Matt, you and I were like texting, and I was like, yeah, like if you guys want to like cash me out, it's been our first 6 months or year, and you were like, yeah, like not bad performance. Like I think you're like in our top 4 or 5 affiliates, and I was like, what? I'm like, I got like a good channel, man. Like I feel like I get a lot of codes and people sending me messages on DM, on Instagram, and I'm like, that's it. Like that's all we got. I'm like, well, I'll take it. And you're like. Yeah, like Jason Ambrose smoking you and Danny Lanier smoking you, and like you're just like round up the pot like to get us all competitive, and it's fun, and then I was like, well, I go, I'll take 4th place. I go out of 5 affiliates. Like I was kind of like take my hat in my hand, like my tail was tucked.
Well, it's 4th place. It's 4th place, and it's 2020, so you still get a trophy for that.
Yeah, yeah. I got my participation trophy, and then like, dude, I don't remember this conversation, but I don't know if it was like a day later or like a week later or a month later, but like you like had messaged me, you're like, hey, dude, I made a mistake, and I'm like, what's up, dude? I'm like, what's going on? You're like, no, dude, I feel like really bad. And I'm like, what's up? You're like, actually, like, I haven't really been tracking your code the correct way. And I'm like, do you remember this story, Matt, or no? Do you remember this? Like,
yeah, I do. And I think what happened when I set up your like affiliate account, I fat fingered the code, so it was like it wasn't tracking like the Brian's 10. Like anytime they use it as a discount, and I was like, when I found out about it, I was like, oh. I think I was like, I hope he's not going to be pissed. Like, think I'm trying to like scam him or something. So I was like,
he never even told me about this.
Oh,
I
no!
don't tell Dave about my mistakes. Why would I do that?
Well, it was like 50 times the amount of codes or something ridiculous that like we had.
It was a lot, and I had to go back and like manually do it, but it was the right thing to do, and it was like I felt bad because it's important. Transparency, with you is important to us. It's well, we had like a business relationship, but it's also a friendship.
Yeah.
But it's important. It's like you don't want to like feel like you're being taken advantage of or anything like that. I wouldn't want to feel that way. So I wouldn't want to put somebody else in that position.
Well, over the I don't know the period, I don't know if it's like 3 months or 6 months, but I think you sent me a check for like a couple grand or something like that, and maybe it was like $1,500. I don't know. Like it was back then it
was a long period of time that it was messed up. I was like,
yeah, and I was like, oh, that's nice, and I think like literally I probably went out and bought like another camera lens or something like that, but it's just funny stories because like guys, like I'm just like you guys listening in. I don't know how all this works. I'm people think I'm this like YouTube guru affiliate guy. I'm like, dude, I have no idea. Like I'm just trying to make it all make sense and save people money. I'll tell you guys this. I think I added it up just the other day, Matt, from 2019, like best I can track. I think well, no, actually, like since inception, since having all these like affiliate codes. And by the way, quick little funny story. For all of you guys who are wondering like where's the Brian's 10 thing came into play, the actual story is that like my 5th or 6th video, and it's still up. Mechanics gloves. You guys know like the Mechanics gloves? That brand, I was using their gloves for like 10 years, and I said, I'm gonna do like a review on Mechanics gloves. Like that was like my 5th video. That's how like big I thought. I'm like, everybody needs to know about their impact gloves. And I thought it was like the coolest thing ever because I was like, dude, impact gloves. Like these are my favorite Mechanics gloves. And like the FG Feel Grip or whatever they call them at Home Depot, like same thing. And so the guy I was working with, Jeff, he's a really cool dude. He goes, well, hey, if anybody wants to buy gloves on our website, we'll do this. We'll give you a 10% off coupon. I was like, a 10% off coupon? I had like 38 subscribers, okay, folks? And like literally like 50 subscribers. I'm like, oh, an affiliate code? I was like, oh my, I didn't even think like I'm gonna be a millionaire. I was just like, oh, I got my own code. And then he goes, yeah, we'll get you your own code, buddy. Like you're big time. And I was like, oh my God, like Jason Ambro, eat your heart out. Like I got a code. Well, there's no commission to it, like how much commission is on like a $19 pair of gloves, right? Like $1. And so he goes, what would your code like to be? I go, I don't know. And he set me up with a Brian's 10. And so I was like, oh, I'm like, yeah, Brian's 10, like save 10%, Brian's 10. And now you got like all these guys with all their codes.
I use Brian's 10 everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it works.
I tried to use it when I bought the Raptor. I was like, can you guys take Brian's 10? They're like, what the hell are you talking about?
One day. We're working on that. That or we need like Chick-fil-A or Jimmy John sponsoring the show, We'll get there, man. I'm telling you, one day I'm seeing this thing big now. Because I thought so small for so long, and I realized like, dude, we can save a lot of people a lot of money. Well, okay, so fast forward, we had 100,000 subscribers last week Wednesday, and I was like trying to add up all the sales from everything, and dude, like literally, best I can tell, we've saved like $170,000 for people in my career doing YouTube with all the 10% off codes. Like that's
pretty cool. That's really cool.
That's a lot. Well, first off, that is so cool to me, like to help save people that much money. And then number 2, you guys got to realize it's in intervals of 10, 12, 14, and $25. So like how many codes have been used? Like I it's so much bigger than me. Like it's not about me. I always try to tell you guys, like people like, you're a sellout. And I'm like, I'm a sellout. I saved my fans $150,000. What the hell did you do? Like, people criticize or they hate. And I'm like, dude, you don't even try to save your fans money. You do affiliates or you try to do sponsored content. You don't even like care about your fan. You don't even try. And I mean, I don't care. Like I'll go to the grave knowing I could sleep well at night, knowing that my fans and my followers.
That's a ridiculous statement because you actually passed off a good sentence to them.
100%.
I have good knowledge.
So I really don't know how anybody would have that take on it.
I don't know.
It only happened because of what you're doing, and your take is to save your customer money. You could have said, I want 10% of the sale, but you didn't say that. You said, I want my followers to save this money.
100%. In fact, if fans don't save money, we don't even have the conversation. Like I had a company just a couple days ago, and they listened to the show, and they're good people, so I don't want to like make a dig. But it's just the timing wasn't right, but they're like, dude, $5,000 one video. I said no, and they're like they were like rebuttaling via text message. Like, what do you mean no? And I'm like, no, like I don't need $5,000. I don't care about $5,000. Like,
they felt like me.
well, yeah. Well, it was, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't make sense in what I'm currently doing. Like, eventually, if I have a home, it might make sense. But I was like, no, it's just not. And they were cool. They got it. But so when somebody's like, I'm like, dude, I just turned down $5,000 to make one video that would take me 2.5 hours, and I make one Instagram post, and that stuff happens like to YouTubers. But again, like would I like to make some more money? Of course, I'm not going to turn down deals, but it just didn't make sense time-wise. There was no immediate benefit for the fan. And so I've always tried to, like, hopefully you guys that are listening, like, can feel, I don't know, just confident or appreciative that, like, we try to keep it as authentic as possible, like, on my channel. And Equipment Defender's been there from the beginning. Like, that's the cool thing. Like, I don't know, I said this at my Launchpreneur Academy, Matt, like, when I was introducing you, I don't know if I would have as much quote unquote success with YouTube if I didn't have the funds as early on to reinvest into the nicer equipment without guys like you. I mean, like in Cujo and IsoTunes. I mean, it's really, really special. And we could have 100 more affiliates, but, like, I'm like, no, like, I don't, it's not about the money. Like, if it's not a good product that can help you guys, then why even bother, you know? So I guess it's a long-winded answer just to say that I appreciate the support of the codes. I know you guys listening in always kind of wonder, like, how do things work behind the scenes logistically? And, like, I'm pretty much an open book. Like, if a deal's not good for the fans, that's where we start. Then it's just not good for me. And I know, yeah. I guess if somebody, you know, wants to pay me $100,000 to give them a shout out, you know, and I get the car, and sure, you know, we'll evaluate that one. But here's the deal: ain't nobody showing up to my doorstep yet saying, "Hey, we'll give you $100,000 to, you know, you know." So, you know, because I'm a real person too.
Well, maybe Elon's going to show up, and he's like, "Yeah, if you give us a shout out, we can
my wife actually goes. She goes, maybe there's, like, some really like multi-millionaire rich guy that listens to your podcast, and he knows he's like, you've been trying really hard, and he's just going to give you one." I go, babe, that is the most like wishful thinking thing, because, dude, we don't have anybody in our family with money. I'm not part of any trust fund. I like the 6 degrees of separation. Everybody I know is like, you know, I'm gonna be nice. Like, they you know, they don't make millions, and, like, their friends don't make millions. So I don't know where that's coming from, you know, because but I go, I don't think a multi-millionaire babe is listening to, like, how to mow stripes, you know, and how to keep their grass at 3.25 inches and not burn out in August.
Liz might be on to something. You don't know yet.
Maybe. So, what crazier things have happened? You know what I mean? So maybe Ford's like, hey, we want to sponsor you a Raptor, and if that's the case, I'm gonna bring it to GIE, and we'll all just, like, literally rip it apart, and we'll put it through, because I don't care. Like, they're just tools, you know. So we're gonna use them. So nothing stays super pretty around my house, but. Anyway, so we'll open mic. I mean, is there anything that you guys wanted to add with, I know you guys are going to be at GIE. So if you guys, haven't got your tickets yet, there'll be links in the show notes. You can always get 50% off on your registration for that. But, so you guys have been going to GIE for a long while. You guys, are showing up this year. Anything new, or cool that we can expect, or anything that you guys want to drop bombs while I got you?
We don't really have any big plans. Honestly, we have been so slammed this shipping season, this really between the two product lines, that we haven't had time to do anything new.
Yeah.
We haven't even actually finished the products that we debuted at GIE last year.
Yeah.
We're trying to get those out the door.
Chainsaw racks.
Yep. Yeah, between the COVID-19 and all that stuff, because it started in China before it started here, and we had some backups in the winter, and really just we had to hit production so hard.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we haven't run out of any product this year. We've just been producing like crazy.
Sure.
And you really have to tend to all of the stuff that you already do, your obligations now.
Yep.
And then the new stuff is on its way. We did run into a few manufacturing product problems, which always occurs. Anything new that requires some new methodology to get it done. Certainly in volume anyway.
Yep. But you guys will be at the show.
That should be at least fully available by then.
Sweet.
It was supposed to be for this spring, but that didn't happen.
No problem. No worries. Yeah, absolutely.
And that'll be the chainsaw rack and the double-sided hedge trimmer rack.
Yes.
And the pole, the 2-inch.
Oh yeah, the pole fall bracket. Bracket.
I had Keith Kalfas was talking to me. He's like, because I think you guys are working with Keith and stuff. He goes, "Hey, are these racks any good?" I go, "Yeah, they're great." And I said, "Dude, they got this pole trimmer rack coming," and because he does a lot with pruning, Matt, you know that, and so I was like, dude, that'd be a really cool product for you, to just show off and share. And he was like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, dude. So, shout out to Keith.
Well, what we learned at GIE last year is that it's going to be very popular. And the problem they have, I guess, is just that the thing is so darn long.
Yeah.
They have a hard time putting it on their trailer and not destroying it, just transporting.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So there was a lot of interest for that reason, because the thing is very valuable to begin with. It's worth a little bit of money to protect it and to secure it on your trailer. But the way that holds it on, it keeps it out on the outboard side of the trailer as well, where it's not in harm's way.
Sure.
So it was actually more interest in it than I expected. Well, a lot of these racks, they're kind of obscure. You start with trimmer racks and blow racks. Everybody needs those.
Yep.
All these other racks is not for everyone. It's just for the people that use that particular type of implement.
Well, sure. Well, like you said, I mean, like a 266T pole trimmer is, I don't know, $300, $400, $500, and then some of these combi systems, the engine's $400 and the attachments another $200-$300. So it makes sense to have these things safety. First off, so they don't get stolen, let alone transport.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel you. Well, and then Matt, you're coming up to Entrepreneur Academy Live 2020, right? So that'll be cool. I think you guys are gonna.
Yeah, you promised to let me borrow your Milwaukee heated jacket, because I don't do the cold very well.
It's just so funny. Like, literally, by the way, like all of you guys listening in that came to the event, it'll be November 7th this year. Tickets will go on sale probably in July, so stay tuned. I know there's a lot of hype. People want to get tickets already, and all my people that were there last year, they're like, we get first dibs, right? I'm like, yeah, let's do that. So they'll get first dibs by a couple days, and then an email will go out, and then the rest of everybody else will get access to them. But the funny thing is, like, it was actually a nice day, bro. Like, it was on November. it was like 37 degrees, and all these like Southern boys are coming up, like Paul Jameson and Jason Creel and Matt. They're all like in this like little huddle with their like big trench coat, like big old. Like Boyne ski coat,
barrel fire like they see on TV,
yeah,
right?
Dude, for sure, Dave. Like they were like little girls, man. Like I was just laughing so hard. And Paul Jameson's like freezing, and he had poop on his leg, and it's a whole other story. And if you guys haven't listened to Paul,
I must have left before then. I don't remember that.
Brian, Matt actually said he enjoyed that event a lot. I'm going to try to make it up this year too.
That'd be cool.
Last year I just had some things come up.
Yeah, no, dude, it'll be a really, really good time, and it'd be cool to have you guys there, both. Equipment Defenders helping sponsor the event.
I'll make Dave go on stage and talk this time, because it was pretty nerve wracking, going up in front of a couple hundred people.
Aren't you like a motivational speaker, like Brian's on maintenance? Apparently. So it's
I give you a lot of credit just to be able to do that, because I'm not. That public speaking is not really for me.
Well, what nobody sees when you get done with that event is the Amazon River that drained down my back, because I'm like sweating nervous, because I'm not a public speaker anyway. I'm like literally it was like 8:29:59, and like my friend Jim cues the music to like go on stage, and I'm like, well, this thing has to kick off with somebody. I guess it is my event. I probably should get my ass up there, And I was like, hey,
standing around waiting. Standing around to see if anybody goes up there.
Yeah. Well, I was like, well, somebody better do this thing and get the ball rolling. So I like took every ounce of like all nervous energy I ever had. And I was like, whoa, let's do this thing. And people are like reciprocating, and I'm like, all right, this isn't too bad, But you guys think that I'm like this like motivational speaker guy, and I'm like I'm not. I'm like Matt, and I'm like very quiet. Like, I want to just keep to myself. I'll sit in the back, and that's kind of what I did. Like,
get that fade where.
Yeah,
because we're millennials, we don't want to get up and talk.
No, I was like, you guys talk, man. That's why I brought in speakers, so I don't have to speak. But
the thing is, once your brain locks up, you don't even know if you can speak. I went the first meeting I ever went to where I had to show the Riptide in front of a group of people. It was only like 10, 15 people there.
Yeah.
And I got nervous and like I couldn't remember anything about it. It was the first time I ever showed it and talked about it. I mean, I spent years developing this thing.
It was the old age.
But then I get out there and I'm like, I could not think of a single reason why these people should buy this thing.
It happens. Caleb Allman even said that to him because he kind of rehearsed on Friday night, and then he's a really good dude. Like he's a planner, he's a thinker. Caleb's a really good guy. Shout out to Caleb if he's listening to the show. And so he goes up there and he goes, dude, my whole mind just went blank for like the first 3 minutes. Like he goes, I looked down at the screen, the monitor that had like his slides, but he's like, I didn't even see the screen because like I had tunnel vision, and then it takes you, dude, for real. Like you guys, like we're contractors, man. We're landscapers, and you get up on stage in front of 250 of your peers or 150 this last year, and it is kind of intimidating, especially when they're like got notepads out and like they're ready to take notes, and you better like, yeah, you got to deliver and. But anyway,
there's lights on you too.
Yeah, big stage light. Well,
it makes you appreciate the people that get out there and they just command the audience, and they're funny and they work, they roll.
Yeah,
you don't realize what a talent that is. It's an amazing talent.
Well, then Keith Kalfas gets up there and he like does this Know Your Worth talk, which was a couple podcasts ago. I just dropped that one, and he just rolls, dude, just crushes it. Analogies, people laughing, people crying. He's controlling your emotions like a friggin' roller coaster, and I'm like wiped out after I like hear his speech because he's just so good. And I'm like, and I get people that shoot me DMs on Instagram, and they're like, dude, Keith is amazing. Like, how does he tell stories? How does he share? How does he like just penetrate your heart with his message? And I'm like, I don't know, dude, the guy's gifted. Like people see him like cutting down trees and like being a landscaper, but I'm like, no, like this dude like is destined to like literally speak on stages like he always wants to do. And so it'll be really, really cool. And by the way, for those of you guys listening, like all these sponsors really do eat into the cost of that ticket. So like the ticket this year, I think it might be like $197 because we're going to do a catered in dinner so people don't have to leave at 5:30, 6 o'clock, because dinner kind of turned out to be a small snafu last year because B-Dubs double sat a different party of 100 people. So it was like this weird end to the night. And so we're just going to do it all in house. So it might be like $20 more for your ticket. But that's why the ticket's only $197 or whatever it's going to be. Don't quote me on that, but versus $497 or $997 because, these companies are coming to cover a lot of the cost, and Equipment Defender's right there, which is really, really cool. So you guys' sponsorship of the booth will be really, really fun. And I know you guys will have some product on display, which will be neat. So anyway, we could talk about that kind of stuff forever, man. But I guess here's the cool thing. I super appreciate you guys' friendship. I super appreciate you guys' partnership. You guys, I know it's a niche product. I know it's a simple product, but it is a really vital product to like your arsenal of your equipment setup. And man, I've had so much frustrations in the day with old racks that I bought from like big box stores that would fall apart. Then I'd weld them on. Then they fall again. And then I made like angle iron brackets on diagonals to like make sure they don't swing and turn. And then they would still, and then,
it is surprising how overbuilt this stuff has to be to hold up. I mean, it has to be ridiculously durable.
Dude, 100%.
You have to put a lot of materials into it. You got to really strengthen it. It's a lot more goes into it to make it durable and make it hold up than people realize.
Heck yeah, man, for sure. Well, and I was saying one other thing that was, the hooks back in the day, Dave, like the little loop hooks that you put through the rack to like not let your stuff. Well, like they had like the little black like zip tie thing that like hold on to them. But then you go on dirt roads where I live in Michigan. There's a bunch of dirt roads back in the day that I would go up and down. And you hit a pothole and the whole trailer shoots up. So that hook shoots up. And that's where I lost a trimmer, literally on the dirt roads of Michigan, where it just ejected off the side of my rack because it didn't lock. And not only did the trimmer go, but so did the stupid loop. So now I only got one loop on two. And this was way back in the day, but I had to have my mom go down this rabbit hole of like finding the Lowe's and finding the distributor and contacting the distributor because it was some random off-brand thing. And I ordered like 18 hooks, or like it was a bag of hooks. I got a whole bag of these loop hooks because, I was like, this is the stupidest stuff I'm like worried about trying to like cut grass, and I got
a bag of hooks.
Yeah,
that just sounds funny for some reason. A bag of hooks.
I had a bag of, I don't even know. I literally ordered like a 10 of them or whatever it was, and I'm trying to worry about cutting grass and employees not showing up, and it's lawns are burning out, and I got one loop on my trimmer, and it's like hanging off the edge, looking all gangly like Homer Simpson style.
That's actually an interesting point. is controlling damage to your equipment while it's sitting in this stuff. These trailers are going down the road. They're swaying and moving and vibrating.
Especially when you're in the dirt road.
Beat to death. The dirt roads are horrible. Just roads in Detroit are horrible.
Oh, yeah.
Or in Michigan in general.
Oh, yeah.
So, but it's just getting beat to death. That was a big part of the decision on our trimmer rack to have these sacrificial aluminum blocks, which is what we call them. The brackets that go on the trimmer.
Yeah.
They were actually making it so the trimmer never touches the rack, because if it does touch the rack, it wears holes through the shaft. It beats everything to death.
Sure. Well, and again,
that was a very important thing. Trying to control damage to the pieces of equipment that you're trying to put it where it's convenient, easy to get at, but you have to control the damage.
We also got the engine mounts, which are really cool, and yours guys come with them standard. So the engine support
comes with them standard. And originally, the very first design of these that I did years ago for the other company was they didn't have engine supports, and people would break the shafts once in a while.
Yep.
And I think the manufacturers on the trimmer started trying to make them lighter and lighter and lighter, and in the process, the shafts get a little weaker. So the engine supports are essential at this point in time.
I remember.
Not only that, but everybody has horror stories of breaking their trimmer shafts in these different trimmer racks. So it's essential to have all the protection you can give them.
Well, I remember way back in the day, one of the first few videos I ever watched on YouTube, lawn care YouTube, was Matt. There's the guy who's the firefighter guy. He's a bud. I forget his name though right now. I don't know if he even puts out content, but he had like the trimmer rack video, and he had bought the engine supports. It had like 8,000 views. It was like a big video back in the day. And firefighter guy, Brad or something maybe, or I don't know.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, but he had the first like video with like engine supports, and I was like, oh, revolution. It's so dorky like saying this out loud, but dude, like I would watch these videos. Like, you guys have no idea, man. Like Geek the Freak and Top Notch and B&B and G Packard, and like this guy Brad or whatever had the he's a firefighter. You guys know who I'm talking about. But he had like this engine support rack video, and it was like, guys, I figured out how to like not have your trimmer shaft. He had this like Southern draw in like North Carolina, and how to like not have your trimmer heads like cut off and lose the engine mount, because that happens. And I was like, oh, tell me more. And he's like, I got this trimmer rack with these the long engine support. I'm like, I need that. I need it now. So and many a time I get you guys DMing me like, hey, thanks again for doing this video and making me spend $200 on something I didn't know I need, like joking. And I'm like, you're welcome. And like the Cujos or the racks, and I'm like, yeah, but dude, I do the same thing, man. You guys review gas cans or, whatever product. I'm like, I need that. I need that impact now. And, but it just helps us all out, man, where we all can, learn and keep moving and growing together. So, I love it. But,
yeah.
Well, hey, open mic. Any last thoughts that I told these guys it'd probably be a half-hour podcast. I didn't think that we'd be able to chat this long about trailer racks, right, Matt? But so open mic. Anything you guys want to leave our audience for now, or any final thoughts or words of wisdom, or anything you guys want to add while you guys are on the line?
Well, I just want anybody to know that if they ever need anything from us, big or small, we're a small company, just reach out to us. Drop us an email. Drop us a phone call, send me an Instagram message. Just come right to my phone. So send them at like 3 o'clock in the morning. So my phone is vibrating and I'm waking up to answer your questions. Just, we're always here for our customers. We appreciate them all. And it doesn't matter if you're just buying, a $30 line spool rack from us, or you're outfitting a fleet of trailers. We've always got your back if you're you're one of our customers.
I love it, man.
And when they do call in, they should know that they can tell us that it came from Brian's 10, and we can apply that. We can apply the code even if they call it in. No problem.
That's cool. And by the way, there's special circumstances sometimes if you guys are living foreign countries or the land down under with Ben. A lot of you guys live in like unique situations where maybe shipping just generically from the website might be cost prohibitive. But shoot these guys an email or shoot them a call or a message on Instagram. I know Matt kind of monitors all three, but Matt, there's been a couple situations where you guys are able to like work around or send it through a different carrier.
It can be cost prohibitive, unfortunately, for some of these other countries. I know you mentioned Ben at Catch Pro. We just set him up to be a distributor down in Australia and New Zealand.
Yep.
So if you guys are down there, he's got our racks. He's very good, very professional guy.
Yep.
I like working with him a lot. and he can get you set up. But unfortunately, as you know, Brian, these racks, we ship them in. They're big boxes. They're heavy. So, shipping to some of these other countries at this time, it's a bit cost prohibitive, but I can always give anybody a quote on that.
Okay, cool. I like it, man. I like it. Well, yeah.
The other thing that would be good for these guys to know about is if some of the landscapers actually do pool maintenance as well, they have a division for it. In which case, they can just go to riptidevac.com and learn all about the Riptide.
Oh yeah, for sure. I like that. I'm telling you, I listened to that Pool Chasers podcast with Greg and Tyler, and it was really, really good. I was listening to a couple more because you know how like you listen to one, it just keeps playing. Well, I listened to like 3 or 4 Pool Chaser podcast. I have no idea why, because I'm not going to mess with my phone. I just let it keep going. And man, I'm ready to like dominate the pool industry, dude. I was laughing. I'm like, I'm getting me a Riptide. I'm getting the bigger version. I'm ready to rock and roll. Give me these like skimmer poles because they got the advertising, And I'm like, I don't even know what this carbon fiber, freaking pole is, but I want one, And it's like use promo code Pool Chaser,
Everybody's always trying to grow, right? They're trying to figure out another revenue source. They're trying to figure out what they can do to make more money. And the two of those go together very well. We actually call ourselves Service Industry Solutions because we knew that we were going to be catering to at least 2 different lines of service industry.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. I get you. All right, cool.
And we have some of our biggest customers also do landscaping, though.
Oh, no, okay. Yeah. Well, and by the way, there's a lot of tools that you can use these racks for. It doesn't have to always just be a trimmer or blower. You can put pools and poles on them, you know what I mean, with the racks. For crying out loud. So might be another option. I don't know. A little crossover.
I don't know about that.
Come on, crossover, man. I'm selling. Brian's 10. I got to get into the pool industry, you know what I'm saying? So, anyway. All right, we're going Brian's 10 worldwide, man. So, if you want a Chick-fil-A, a pole skimmer, or Equipment Defender racks, or a Raptor, Brian's 10 will work.
Or a Raptor.
Definitely need to get the Raptor hooked up with Ford because that'd be a really cool sponsorship. But all right, cool. Well, I'm gonna shut it down, man. I think this is good. This is fun. If you guys have any questions, like I said, reach out to Matt and Dave. There's the phone number. I'll leave the website in the show notes, equipmentdefender.com. But hey, thanks to you guys. We're actually doing this on a Saturday morning, so appreciate you guys taking some of your weekend and chiseling out some time and getting to share with our audience. So thank you.
Hey, we appreciate it, Brian. Thank you for having us on. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.
Absolutely, brother. All right, guys. Well, Matt, keep Dave out of trouble. Don't let him cross the street without, his service dog. And we'll catch up with we'll catch up with all of you guys soon. All right, over and out.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.